What a headshot! What a head!
How's it, guys? This is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, I'll be taking you through my team selection for the upcoming Game Week 22. So yes, a little bit of a weird deadline Tuesday evening where I'm based. Game Week 21 is finally concluded. I'll be giving you guys a quick review of how the game week went and show you guys where we're currently sitting in terms of the overall ranks. I'll then jump into that transfer plan, or at least a way to spend that 16.5 million left in the bank, and rounding off the video with the actual final team selection. So that's what you guys are interested in. Sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So going over a quick review of Game Week 21, the never-ending game week split over 2 weekends. All I'm happy about is that we got a green arrow even though it was a small one. So we're currently sitting at just below that 95k mark, 94 to be exact, with an overall point scored of 1,263. Now you guys can see in terms of the transfer plan, as I mentioned, 16.5 left in the bank, an absolutely insane amount of money, and we might actually be spending a bit of that in Game Week 22. Now in terms of Game Week 21, I scored 63 points, which was kind of an average score, 1.6 million in terms of the Game Week rank, but it could have been a lot better if the goal was actually given to Gabriel. Now I'll clear that up a little bit later on, but let's start off on our bench. And the only bench points this week were from Dubravka with 3 and then Konza with 6. So yes, the game week where finally Aston Villa keep a clean sheet, I've got Konza on my bench. Wasn't really expecting this, to be honest. Everton have been attacking quite well, and Aston Villa have been keeping too many clean sheets over the prior game weeks. Then Lascelles with 0 points and Archer with 1 point. The biggest thing about Archer was the fact that he was benched yet again. A little bit surprised there, thought that he would have been in the starting 11, but it does look like he's lost his place. Now starting goalkeeper Areola actually matched Dubravka, got us a save point and the appearance points, but when West Ham were facing Sheffield United in Game Week 21, I was expecting a clean sheet. But maybe the stats have kind of caught up to West Ham. As you guys know, in the Ultimate Guide we discussed, not the best kind of defensive outfit, but I was at least expecting a clean sheet here against the worst attack. I guess we'll have to go back to the fact that West Ham might keep clean sheets against slightly tougher opposition, and Areola has actually done well for us over the prior game weeks. Now, even though I benched Konza with these 6 points wasn't the end of the world, as my defensive department did get some points. Saliba and Porro with the 6-pointer, and then Gabriel with the massive 17-pointer. So let's start off with the Spurs asset. You guys know we don't own him for those defensive returns, we own him for the attacking ones, and that's what happened in the 2-2 draw to United. Then in terms of Arsenal, they kept their clean sheet. That's why Saliba is on 6 and Gabriel scored a clean sheet and 2 goals, but one was actually judged as an assist. So yes, when the game was actually played, it was given as an own goal. Therefore, Gabriel was demoted from a goal to an assist, but over the past few days, it's been kind of rewarded back to him. So it would have been a Gabriel goal and a Saka assist. So Gabriel would have gone from a 17-pointer, I believe, to a 19-pointer, as obviously a goal is more rewarded than an assist. But still, I'm sounding a little bit greedy there. No, I'm not saying the 17-pointer wasn't good enough. Obviously, it's magical, but it could have been a little bit better. The reason I was quite disappointed is if you do look at the midfield department, Saka was obviously my captain going into Game Week 21, and therefore he would have been on an extra 3 points. So the gap between Saka and Palmer, as you guys know, both those two assets had split captaincy percentages, that would have closed that gap ever so slightly. So the green arrow would look better, we would have had more points, but FPL won't give us those points back. So I know that you guys might be a little bit angry about that. It is unlucky, but this has happened on multiple occasions in the past. So that Saka assist would have been ever so sweet, as he did end up with a blank, only the 3-point appearance, and Cole Palmer scored the goal in Chelsea's 1-0 win. Now I mentioned this in my transfer plan, but if I was to look at the kind of odds of the fixtures, Arsenal won 5-0, Saka wasn't involved in anything. Chelsea won 1-0, Palmer got the penalty. I don't really know what's happening with Saka at the moment, because 5 goals and no attacking returns is pretty terrible. At least our new transfer in Richarlison got us an attacking return, a goal, and some bonus points, whereas unfortunately Garnacho and Foden disappointed. Now if you guys are wondering why Garnacho's in my team, well, it's the fact that I could afford him and then bringing Salah in and Haaland in for free. So no, I don't back the United attack, and yes, it's a little bit weird having one of their players in my team, but he's simply so cheap. In that fixture though, against Spurs, at the death, he kind of had an assist, or could have had an assist, but McTominay scored the winning header. So overall, the midfield department was okay. Cole Palmer's ownership was quite high, our captain ended up blanking, at least Phil Foden matched Alvarez. Now forward department got even more disappointing, Dom Solanke with only 2 points, and Ollie Watkins with only 1, so no attacking returns from our strikers. Now because of that, obviously this kind of spells out the fact that this was an average game week, not too many returners except for Gabriel's 17-pointer. I just wish he got the goal and Saka the assist, as in the game week would have been a lot better. So now you guys know how I did in Game Week 21, a small green arrow. How did you guys get on? Was it a green arrow, a red arrow? I've seen some really disaster game weeks, but some super high scores, especially if you guys owned Diogo Jota. So let me know in the comments down below, how many points did you guys score and where are you sitting in the overall ranks? But now let's head on to the actual transfer plan for the upcoming game week. As you guys would have seen, one free transfer and 16.5 million left in the bank. So a massive upgrade can be made with that one free transfer. If you want to make a hit, we could do 2 big upgrades, but I might actually be rolling the transfer. So let's first talk about if I was to make a transfer, who would it be for? It's only one man at the moment, that's the Norwegian Erling Haaland. Now the reason I'm saying that is that if Erling Haaland was going to start against Burnley at home, he's the absolute best Camsey option at the moment. But with the current injury news, I don't think he's going to actually play. I think at best he might come off the bench for Man City in this fixture, and therefore I won't be bringing him in or actually looking to captain him. He has been training though over the prior days, and let's just say Pep Guardiola comes out in the press conference coming up on Monday or Tuesday and says that Erling Haaland's back to full fitness, he can start the fixture. Yes, it is unlikely, but then I would look to bring him in. That upgrade will be for Cameron Archer. He just lost his place. I have enough money in the bank to upgrade him, and I want to keep Dom Solanke and Ollie Watkins. So this will be the transfer I want to do, but as mentioned, a little bit unlikely, unless Pep says that he's definitely going to start. Now there are a few other variations I could go for here. The one option I was looking at is bringing in Alvarez instead of Erling Haaland. I think if Erling Haaland's going to be benched or not going to start the fixture, then Julian Alvarez is the best Camsey option, and therefore might be bringing him in, but it might be a 1-week punt. They just had Erling Haaland's back for Game Week 23, I therefore want to take Alvarez out anyways, so it might be a little bit of a waste of a transfer. Another plan to look at might be going for Darwin Núñez. If Liverpool do get that double Game Week 25, then Darwin might be a good asset for that game week. But then unfortunately I'll have to lose one of Dom Solanke or Ollie Watkins if I do want to go for Erling Haaland. I don't know how keen I am on doing that. So yes, the current plan at the moment, or the most likely one, might be to roll a transfer, unless I want to do something maverick like bring in a Kevin De Bruyne. I just don't know if I can do that at the moment with the current midfielder slots, so that's why rolling the transfer or bringing in Erling Haaland might be more likely. So yes, a very boring kind of transfer plan for the upcoming Game Week 22. I've waited 2 weeks to kind of roll a transfer, who would have thought? But hopefully you guys are more exciting. Comment down below what transfers you guys are making. But now let's go on to the actual team selection for the upcoming Game Week 22. I'm going to assume that I'm going to be rolling the transfer, but if I do kind of bring in Erling Haaland, I'll explain what I do on my bench, as therefore Archer will come off it, as he is currently on there. So completing our bench will therefore be Dubravka against Aston Villa, just a tougher game on the cards, then Areola against Bournemouth, and then I've got Konza against Newcastle and Lascelles who play each other. So pretty kind of expected bench, to be honest. I think my defensive department carries the fact that I'm benching Konza, Lascelles lost his place in the starting 11, and Archer's not going to be starting. The only dilemma might be the goalkeepers. So as mentioned, Areola against Bournemouth at home is starting in my squad. I do own Dom Solanke, but I guess I own Ollie Watkins, and therefore I might favour the better defence, which is going to be Newcastle. I guess the upside might be slightly high on the West Ham side of things, because at least we know that Areola will definitely make some saves. Now moving on to our back three, it's Pedro Porro against Brentford at home. I expect them to concede, maybe Ivan Toney getting a goal, but we own Pedro Porro for his attacking threat anyways. But then with Gabriel and Saliba hoping for some more defensive returns, maybe a clean sheet against Nottingham Forest, as their attack hasn't been great, but this is an away game. Overall the back three isn't too bad, but definitely better than maybe Konza against Newcastle, but now watch Aston Villa keep a clean sheet. Now moving on to midfield department, I'm going to start off with Garnacho against Wolves away, not the best fixture on the cards, not the best asset in the world, but I brought him in so I could afford some big hitters. Now Richarlison was also brought in last game week. He has Brentford at home. This is a fine game on the cards, maybe even a Camsey consideration, but I'll be going for someone else with a higher upside. We then have Saka against Nottingham Forest away. This is a fine fixture on the cards. Just hope that Saka can get back on the good way of things, but I guess he did get an assist in Game Week 21. Then you have Cole Palmer against Liverpool away. Let's hope for a penalty because Liverpool's defense has been improving, but at least this way if I don't make a transfer, I'm still starting Cole Palmer. Now my final option for Foden is going to be my captain against Burnley at home. Just the highest upside fixture in my opinion. I expect a ton of goals, and that's why I'm quite scared about not owning Julian Alvarez. But I guess the next best thing might be Phil Foden. Between him and Richarlison it might be quite close, but I'm going for the higher upside fixture. Then our front two is going to be expected Dom Solanke against West Ham away. As mentioned, West Ham's defense isn't great, so fingers crossed Dom Solanke does well. Then last option, Ollie Watkins at home. The stats will tell you that Newcastle defense isn't great, so there might be a few goals in this one for Ollie Watkins. So let's hope that he does regain some form because over the prior game weeks hasn't been that great, but maybe this is the game that he rebounds. But as you guys can see, the starting 11 doesn't look too bad. Yes, he might make some improvements. The midfield department, Cole Palmer, Garnacho, not the best kind of assets in the world for Game Week 22, but I'm comfortable playing these assets over my bench. Now if I was to bring in Erling Haaland for Archer, let's just say that the miraculous happens, Pep says that he's going to be starting against Burnley at home, then I'll probably be benching Palmer against Liverpool. But with the transfer rolled, I can start this team as you guys see. I guess the captaincy might be the only thing that changes. But as mentioned, it's because I'm not making a transfer, doesn't mean that you guys can't. Let me know in the comments down below, who are you bringing in? If you guys have any dilemmas, I'll try and help you guys out. So comment them down below on my Discord server. But this is basically going to wrap up the video, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like if you did and subscribe if you have subscribed yet. And I'll hopefully be seeing you guys for a deadline stream coming up on Tuesday evening. But for the time being, I'm signing off. It's been Dayvy FPL and I'm out. Cheers, bye.